Welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been written on our screens and, indeed, our minds. Shout out to everyone who subscribes to this show on either YouTube, Apple or Spotify. You're doing us a solid there. An even bigger shout out to the patrons who pay for this podcast, the Freemasons on $3.99 a month. They're getting extra episodes every single blooming week. They're watching the Roties. They're getting priority access to tickets. They're having a great time for less than £4. The Illuminati, $5.99. All of those perks plus a free baseball cap sent in the post. Big shout out to Eugene. He runs our Twitter account and our TikToks and the other business. He is most definitely sent by God. And a big wink and a kiss to the ladies who listen, who are indeed some of the most gorgeous and sexy, so sexy, fucking sexy ladies.
Okay, that's too much.
In the United Kingdom. And I'm here with Jake Farrell. So I got really into how sexy they were.
You did, yeah.
Do you know what I will say? Because obviously we were at the Roties, and I will say, you know, when you see them up close, our listeners, male and female, good looking bunch.
Well turned out.
Good looking
Yeah, I agree.
bunch.
Nice glasses.
And I
nice
like
coats.
to think, you know, they say that a dog looked like its owner.
Yeah.
I think our fans very much a representation.
Yeah, that's
of
true.
the standards
I like that,
we
yeah.
set, the beauty standards that we set on this podcast. If anything, I'd say they're setting the standards. We're trying to keep up with them. They're gorgeous. Wink and a kiss again.
Wow. Is that the first ever double wink and a kiss?
No, I've given them two before.
You've given them two before.
And on the Patreon side, I should just say that the gays get a wink and a kiss as well.
On the Patreon
One
specials.
for them today.
That is a slightly startling development. But
If
one
you're
we're
gay
monitoring.
and you'd like to be winked and kissed, Patreon.
Yeah. One small bit of admin, actually. Maybe actually you can do that by subscribing to us on YouTube. Because show that you would like a kiss. If the subscribers go up this month or this week by 100, I'll know it's the gays. Let's just say that. Because I know that there are a lot of people watching that haven't actively subscribed.
Do you know what? People get very careful with this kind of thing.
What?
You know, asking the gays to do something.
Yes. People don't tend to ask the gays to do stuff.
I had an idea. Look, the Roties may well be out. It might not be out yet. Great
What the fuck are you blaming us for?
Well, it was at Bush Hall, the Roties. Lovely venue, and it's a hall. It's a great big hall, chandeliers.
Clues in the name.
What it has is like an upstairs bar with an upper circle. There's like 10, 15 seats at the top where you can just sit up there. And we were going to make those VIPs, then we didn't do that, and then they ended up just being where we put all of our comps, our mates and friends and family and stuff. I had the idea of putting the women up there.
Yes, you did invent the idea of gender segregation, which was not...
You say it like that, it sounds horrible.
Yeah, because that's what it is. So.
Gender segregation, fucking female FGM. When you use those words, it sounds horrendous. I thought it'd be a nice thing for the ladies to sit in the royal circle.
Right.
I thought if all the ladies were... I was about to say rounded up. That feels bad.
Yeah.
Rounded
when
up.
you start doing phrases like that.
If all the
we're
ladies
invited, yes.
were invited
Yes.
to the royal circle to watch from a safe distance,
yes.
that might have been nice.
That
for the
does sound
ladies.
much nicer than if all the birds were rounded up and put upstairs.
Bird, stick them up there. No, I thought it'd be nice. I thought it'd be nice to let all the ladies sit up the top, somewhere high up.
Yeah.
They like high up.
Do they?
Yeah.
Our ladies do, right?
Bit of altitude for the
altitude.
girls.
Yeah, I know. I think, like you say, invite is the key word.
Get them up.
Invite is the key word.
Invite them.
Invite them.
Excuse me, are you a lady? Can I invite you to the Royal Circle?
Yeah. Do you have a dream?
Log flumes for transphobic people to cheer them up. Wow. Right. Let's skip through some admin. I'm on tour, and you're with me.
Yes.
We are touring around the country doing stand-up comedy. What a disgusting way to make a living.
It's horrible, yeah. It's horrible. Tell my wife I'm going out killing puppies.
Hang on, let me work out when this will have come out.
I think it'll be Chelmsford and Leicester, these ones will be for.
Chelmsford, Leicester, Kent,
Mm.
and one more. Luton.
Oh, wow.
Fuck. The locations I'm going to. My fucking God. Luton and Crawley within 2 weeks of each other.
Is Crawley not a nice place?
Never been to Crawley?
Never been to Crawley.
The home of Ramesh Ranganathan.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Interesting. Did you know Ramesh Ranganathan's little brother has gone viral?
No, I didn't. Could he be a screen rot topic?
No, because he's a comedian.
Oh, he's a comic.
He's like. Have you never met Dinesh?
No, I've not.
Oh, I fucking love Dinesh.
Tough scene being the comic brother of one of the top comedians in the country, being the Phil Neville.
What it, fair Wow, that's harsh.
Phil was a good player. He's versatile. He can play centre mid.
Dinesh is fucking brilliant at stand-up.
Right.
He's very funny on Instagram as well. But what he does, Dinesh, it's Dinesh Nathan on Instagram. But what he does is he uses Nathan rather than Ranganathan.
Nice. Not trading on it. That's why. Oh, I know Dinesh Nathan.
Yeah.
Did
you not know that's Rom's brother?
Wow.
No, yeah, that's Rom's
okay. Yeah, he's really funny.
Oh, mate, he's brilliant. But I love this. He's very careful. He doesn't really want people to know. He keeps it Nathan rather than Ranganathan.
That's
so
fair
people
play.
always know him off his own bat.
That's great.
And luckily, no comedians have said on a podcast that gets tens of thousands of listeners a week.
He's carefully been modest his entire career.
He's brilliant. He's a fucking great comedian. I really love Dinesh. Anyway,
I want to call myself Ramesh Ranganathan when I go on tour, so I'm surprised he doesn't even use the second name.
I've been telling people that I'm related to Ramesh Ranganathan for years to try and get some of that audience.
Yeah, anything.
I'm winking. I'm trying.
I might have to go.
Right. No, you can. He's got a lazy eye.
That's fine.
You can say Ramesh Ranganathan's got a lazy eye.
But now I know about Dinesh Nathan. That's great. Fair play to him.
I'm going to Crawley. I'm going to Crawley. I'll have been to Crawley by the time this comes out. I'll have 4 dates left. I think what I'll then do is announce one more London date where I'll film the show. Probably, I don't know. So come see me on tour with Jake. If you want to grow your hair back, dents. I didn't bleach mine. That's the dents. No, I'm joking. But yeah, great.
It's the new tonics.
Jacob30 at checkout dents. You get a discount on that. Adverts are coming soon. If you don't want adverts, sign up on Patreon.
We are taking crippling losses on the hats, and we just can't.
The hats are so fucked. I thought I was getting on really well with that Chinese lady, and then she goes on holiday. And
it's the Lunar New Year.
Send them 3 death threats, and they got all funny with you.
He doesn't say these things seriously. He's being silly.
Nothing we say on this podcast is real. It's all a joke.
Yes. Particularly when we're talking about national treasure comedians and their immediate family members.
Dinesh is a national treasure.
Yeah, Dinesh is a national treasure. Another bit of
that
admin.
wink I just did wasn't to...
Another bit of admin. Like I say, drop us a review, maybe on Apple, maybe on Spotify.
Yeah.
Maybe give us a subscribe on YouTube.
They all do so much for us already. Like the patrons, it's amazing. And I never want to ask too much of them. I will say, by this point in time, by the time this episode comes out, my beautiful little kitty cat, my little pudding Mango.
Yeah.
She'll have had her brood.
Someone commented on the Patreon the other day being like, I swear this cat's been pregnant for about 3 years. It does feel like that. It feels like ages.
She's had a standard pregnancy.
Standard.
Do you know what? It's a real thing. So I've told this story a fucking million times. I've gone up to Liverpool to tell this story on Have a Word. She came into heat. She's screaming because she wants Cocky down. Went on the Pets at Home website, found a cat in Slough, Mr. Lover, took her to Slough, dropped her off for a week, paid 150 quid to get
I just breeze by Cocky down now. I'm so desensitized to it.
get
I'm being worn down to a nub.
to get you know,
Mr. Lover.
lady, come down. Anyway.
Fuck me. Fucking hell, there's about 10 seconds of usable gear in the last 10 minutes, you fucking idiot.
So we paid for another cat to seminate her. Now, that's worse, isn't it? You prefer Cocky down to that. Now, we did that. We did, and so
God,
we get her back. I have to drive to fucking Slough and drive her all the way home, and she's going nuts in the cat box. She ain't happy about being in the car. Drive her all the way back from Slough, get her home. And it's like, well, I think she's pregnant. She's been getting shagged for a week. You'd fucking hope so.
Yeah.
I'd be pregnant. Leave me in a house with that fucking cat.
Right.
Anyway. So then she starts showing a bit, and it's like, yeah, she's pregnant. It worked. 150 quid was worth it. She's a Bengal. She's Bengali, right? So we found another cat, another Bengali, to make sure that
just Bengal, but yeah.
Yeah, she's Bengal. So that's why we sent her to Mr. Lover, because he's a Bengali, right?
He's Bengal.
Yeah, he's Bengal. So then, I can show you the video right now. I turn around in the kitchen one day. Bear in mind, the kids are there. This is about 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Right, chilling. I'm the Michelin man, right? And then...
Yeah, you're chilling.
So I'm buying time so I can... This fucking Photos app on Apple now, it is honestly unusable. Right, there we go.
Why do I need an app to use my television? Grumpy Old Men on Screen Rock Podcast.
Thank you for buying me another 6 seconds. Here we go.
All of this, by the way, is so that Jacob can get a video of his cat being shagged.
I can't believe this is happening right in front of us.
I'll put this up. No, I'll put it up. You don't need to do that. I'm so happy.
Basically, some fucking black and white moggy has jumped in my garden and is shagging her while she's pregnant. That's when I Google it. She can carry 2 litters at once.
No way.
Yeah, and it might be that Mr. Lover Lover didn't even get her properly up the duff.
And it might be this guy.
fucking black and white slag. And this cat, by the way, I messaged my mate, Salas, he lives around the corner, and because he messaged me the other day being like, some fucking cat keeps coming in our garden and trying to shag my cat. I went, it's not this cunt, is it? He said, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. He's been going around the
He's a
neighbourhood.
fucking terrorist, this little shit. I'm literally in a situation where it's like if your missus, you found out she'd been cheating on you with a ginger guy, right? And then she's up the duff and you're going, look, we worked through that, but I just hope this is mine.
Yes. You've been in that situation.
I don't know whether they're going to come out.
You drove her to Slough for
If
Mr. Lover Lover. There was a
these
Mr. Lover Lover in the neighbourhood. You didn't need to go far.
No, but I didn't want that one.
No,
I
you
don't
didn't.
want little black and white moggies.
No.
I want to sell them.
Right. You need a purebred.
My kittens are only going to Mallorca. My kittens, fucking hell, that's Freudian. My kids aren't going to Mallorca this year unless we get at least 7 Bengali cats out.
Bengal,
Yeah. Bengal. They're Bengal.
Yeah.
Right? Because I need to sell them.
Right.
Right? If they come out black and white, do you know how much a Bengali kitten goes for?
A Bengali.
600 quid.
£600.
Fuck, some black and white shit. I'm going to have to drown it in the back of the garden.
Oh, don't say stuff like that.
Mate, that's
Especially-
my family. You know my family traveller? This is Irish, right? So what
I
honestly...
knew we shouldn't have done a second episode. I knew you had too much caffeine. When you had the second Coke, the second can of Coke, I knew then. It's honestly like, in terrible clubs, in provincial clubs, they'd have those bucking bronco things surrounded by like a bouncy castle, and you could never stay on it for more than like 3 seconds. That's what this intro has been like for me.
My nan had 10, 11 brothers and sisters, right? And she grew up in horrible... Her dad was a tyrant, right? And she always says to me, she goes, you and your sister have such a nice life, Jacob, in England. That's why I came to this country, so you'd have a better life.
Right.
She came when she was 17. She wasn't thinking about me. And I was like, I'd be a kid. I'd be like a child. I'd be like, why? What was your life like in Ireland? She genuinely said this to me. She goes, put it this way, Jacob. Every bucket. I went, what? She goes, every bucket in the garden of our house growing up had scratches on the inside of the bucket. I'd say, why? She goes, where the kittens would try to escape while my father drowned them.
Should we pop EastEnders on then?
Every bucket had scratches.
Right. So you're saying you've got form in your genetic history of being a kitten drown, and you're worried that's going to come out. You're worried the committee will convene in the morning and be like, it's cat drowning.
It's horrible, really, because it's ethnic cleansing, isn't it? It's like, if this cat isn't Bengali...
Bengal. Stop saying that.
She's Bengal.
Yeah.
Then... Anyway, I'm not going to drown a kitten.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Should we do an episode of the podcast?
So you're hoping, because also that black and white cat's well known in the neighbourhood, you won't be able to sell the kittens locally because they'll be
there's
like...
fucking hundreds of them.
Yeah.
It's like crypto. They've made more, so it's not...
It's like Ethereum. They've been mining more kittens.
The Hawkter.
Yeah, the Hawk
There's
coin.
too many Hawk
You've
coins.
invested in Hawk coin. You've invested in the cat version of Hawk coin. You thought you were on Doge.
I've been rug pulled.
You've been rug pulled.
Coffeezilla! Coffeezilla, where are you?
Well, this is an apt intro into this week's subject. It's a subject I've been looking forward to for many weeks and months. It's a touching tale of male friendship, of men's mental H, and most importantly, being stupid with microphones. 3 things that are really big parts of my life. This week, we are talking about the TalkSPORT Sports Bar. Oi, get on this.
I will, but with some trepidation.
In what way?
In the sense that this is the first subject of the podcast who I regularly invoice.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Hugo Hamlet doesn't pay loads of my rent.
Hugo Hamlet doesn't pay his own rent.
TalkSPORT does pay a bit of it.
Yes, okay, that's true. So this is you're wary of biting the hand that feeds the Bengal kittens.
Yeah. When people are like, oh, fucking, they went too soft on Tom Skinner, they were scared. I am scared with this. What if the kittens aren't Bengal? I need all the fucking TalkSPORT money I can get.
Don't worry about it, mate, because this is going to be possibly one of the most complimentary episodes we've ever done.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, the TalkSPORT Sports Bar is a kind of radio institution that over the years has variously been staffed by, firstly, and most importantly, Jason Cundy and Andy Goldstein.
Yes.
About 2 or 3 years ago, Goldstein moved shows and Jamie O'Hara moved into his place. And every day at 10 o'clock, most days, 2 or 3 days a week, they have a bit of a rotating cast now, but Cundy tends to be there a lot. Sports Bar's on, and the level of touching male friendship and insane top-tier banter is really something to behold. It's been a huge part of my life. And I almost just want to kind of celebrate them to get together. And today it was an interesting from like a kind of, if we're like social media anthropologists and we're investigating various sites or various different things.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we're in TikTok, we're in Instagram. But you know when you're on TalkSPORT or you're talking about TalkSPORT, when you're downloading a lot of the videos from Facebook. That's when you really know you're in the TalkSPORT wilderness.
Yeah, this is maybe the most boomer topic
we've ever done.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, this is that age group. I mean, you know, we're talking about Andy Goldstein for a lot of this. Do you know how old he is?
No.
Now?
No.
Now.
No, in 1994.
He's 52.
Is he?
He looks unbelievable.
What a head of hair, by the way.
I mean, the head of hair, is fucking insane.
Yeah.
He looks like a raven or something, doesn't he? It's like feathered. No, he looks amazing. But yeah, they're I wouldn't say Cundy's too much younger.
No, but he's looking fantastic as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, in Cundy's case, that's an ex-professional athlete.
Yes.
Yeah, so you go, yeah, fair enough. In Goldstein's case, I don't know.
Genetics.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess genetics. I mean, he stays fit. He puts a lot of pictures up from a fucking David Lloyd's in Chigwell. But
Yeah. But like, this is the other thing. This is an important topic to me because I think, not explicitly, we never got together and said this, right? But in a way, not in a way, this podcast is way more influenced by Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy than it is by like Ed Gamble and James Acaster. Do you know what I mean? Like,
massively.
It's like it's the role that we would love to play.
And to talk shop for a moment, you know, and I've hinted about this on a previous episode, but like, we are going to have some adverts on this podcast soon. On the Patreon side, it'll be ad-free.
We're in debt to a lady in China, and we need to get out from under it.
You know what? I'm just going to stop fucking apologising. We work our asses off on this. I work on this podcast every single day. I'm going to get paid for it. Thanks very much. But
you got really angry there.
Well, we need to stop with all this fucking. I've been squibbed. I've been Simon squibbed. Actually, if you think you're worth money, you should say you are, and you should just ask for £1,000. Give me a grand. Shut the fuck up. Don't want your book. No, there'll be ads coming, and so we've been having conversations with people in those circles and meetings, and it's funny because it's like our audience is. Like as a comedy podcast, and you would have done this. I didn't realise that we're categorised as comedy and then improv. Do you know we're the #1 improv podcast in the UK?
Oh, we actually?
Yeah, and we have been for ages. Imagine like people who've been to like RADA who are like trying to learn like actual like improv. You know, it was that second city in Chicago. Like, improv is actually for people who don't know. Improv is actually like a form. It's like a thing. It's like,
improv is when you get 10 privately educated virgins together, and they stand on a stage and they say, "Can someone name a noise for me?" and "Can someone name a job?" and then they do a shit kind of sketch.
We're all gardeners that like honking.
Yeah.
Honk, honk, honk,
Yeah,
honk,
yeah.
honk, 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 honk.
Yeah, and they're all wearing Chelsea boots and boot-cut jeans and open-neck kind of trucker shirts, and they all stink as well.
I'll tell you what, I'll take a bit of a gamble. I did. I didn't do improv.
Thank God.
The way I'm looking at you now.
Yeah, that would have been the end of the
things I'm
podcast.
admitted to. I've done crack in the past. I sit there and go, "I've done crack, Jake. What are you going to do about that with it?" I promise you I've never done improv. I'd never.
I would never.
No, come on, my family
I would
listens
never
to
do
this.
that.
I've got kids. I'm not going to sit here on the internet and just say I've done improv. I've done crack.
I've been drowning kittens in my back garden, but
no, but I did it. I did a show the other day
at which improv was taking place.
Where it was like an improv. They'd get me on to do like 2 minutes to stand up, and they go, "Right, we're going to do improv based on that."
I bet that was good.
No, I'm not going to say any more about it because
the invoice hasn't been paid yet.
No, do you know what? It has, and it was a lot more than I expected, and I want to do it again.
There you go.
Yeah, no. How do we get into that?
We're the number one comedy.
But you were saying how we. Yeah, sorry, you were saying how we were influenced.
We're more indebted to TalkSport than improv. I didn't know that. I don't think I did. Well, I don't remember doing that on purpose. maybe I was being forced to put us in 2 categories.
Oh yeah.
And that was the closest thing that I could
Where
get.
else do you put technology?
That is Are we genuinely number 1?
We've been number 1, and we're number 1 in a few other countries
That's
as well.
fucking
for
amazing.
improv.
Fucking have some of that, Upright Citizens Brigade. Fucking have some of that, the Free Association. You fucking weird fucking virgins.
Yeah, I'll find it now. I'm 99% sure. I checked it the other day.
That's incredible. If we're now number
Improv.
40 after I've just done that, it's going to be a tough look.
Do you want me to
but-
check podcast chart UK? Apple podcast charts improv. Who's number 1?
Bosh, look at that.
Yeah, has been
And so you were saying that
So
we've been having these advertising
We're very
conversations.
TalkSport, is what I'm trying to say. The people who listen, and not, we're not, you know, it's not to say that they're all fucking thugs and louts. No, they are, but
That's a coincidence.
yeah, but no, we have a very TalkSport crowd, and I'm fucking proud of that because I don't like this idea that anyone who listens to TalkSport is just a white van driver who you know, catcalls women and blah blah blah. You know, some of them have
Some of them drive cars.
got
as
black
well.
vans. Some of them, their vans are grey.
Yeah, some of them.
One of them's got a red van.
One of them's got a red van.
There's a postman who listens, but
Yeah.
no, I like that we embody TalkSport,
And
and,
the great-
and I have to say, as I mentioned earlier, I do TalkSport a lot.
Yeah, it's the best.
I did the transfer deadline day show. I do Hawksby and Jacobs, Hawksby and Baker, is it very often?
Do you know how I know that you do TalkSport a lot?
Oh, I know the answer, but I'll
Yeah.
let you say.
Because every time Jacob's on there, my dad texts me that he's on there. Jacob's on TalkSport. I'm like,
Do you know how I know I'm on TalkSport? 'Cause my group chat, my mates from back home, I know I'm on TalkSport because I'm on TalkSport.
if the committee have told you.
Because I'm looking around, I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
But I'll also every single because I'll never tell my mates from home that I'm doing it, but they
Yeah,
all
yeah.
listen, and one of them will always just go, "There's some fucking idiot on TalkSport this
Nice.
week.
That's class. That is class.
Someone talking out their absolute
Yeah.
arse about Arsenal on TalkSport.
They'll let
this
anyone
week."
on TalkSport nowadays.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
quality.
yeah. Who is it? It's only some fucking idiot called Jacob Worley.
My dad, my dad's quite the opposite. He's been giving you rave reviews.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very kind.
He
of him.
really trusts your football knowledge. He's been very impressed.
I like it, and it's obviously like, you know, what is it? Well, yeah, it's people talking about sport.
Yes,
I think it's more than that.
I agree.
I have a lot of friendships in my life where the easiest thing for me and that mate to talk about is sport.
Yeah.
And I've got one really close friend who that is, I mean, I don't know if we've spoken about anything apart from football and boxing in 10 years.
Right.
And I remember there's been times where I've been like, we should be fucking having real conversations. We should be opening up to each other. And then there's been times where I know he's been having a bit of a rough one. And I'm like, no, he just needs to talk
wanna
about
talk about-
Dylan White.
Yeah.
Like, he does just need to talk about whether Johnny Fisher will ever win a British title.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? It's like he does need to talk about...
He doesn't want to hear about the committee that runs my life, that lives in my
yeah,
head.
Yeah, no, but like, I don't know, like you know, there's this whole like mental health fucking thing. We take the piss out of it a lot,
Yes.
but like, come on, guys, open up, guys.
Yeah.
You do a great bit of stand up about
Yes.
Prince William. You just need to talk to the fellas.
Yeah, Prince William constantly exhorting us to talk to the fellas, despite the fact that he's got a litany of private healthcare advisors at his fingertips.
Well, yeah, but like, yeah, we want to talk. Not about that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I actually had experienced that very thing last night.
Really?
I've had like a very long and difficult week at work, and I'd arranged to meet my mate who's a Tottenham fan to watch the Tottenham-Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Got there, we mainly talked about the Tottenham-Liverpool game
Felt better.
and how shit Tottenham are. I forgot all about the bad stuff that was happening to me at
This
work.
is it.
Went home.
Yes.
I did have 3 pints of Chris Campo and 2 fags as well, but that's by the by.
But it's not.
Right.
Because everyone else who listens to TalkSport is drinking 3 pints and smoking 2 fags. I do think that, like, without meaning to,
Yes.
TalkSport has become, like, essentially a therapy centre for the British man.
100%.
Like, that's not to be like, just to, you know, this is what we need. It's not to over romanticise it, but it's like, this is what we actually need. We don't want to interrogate our feelings. We don't want to stretch deep into our childhood trauma. We want to talk about who's going to make the playoffs and whether Gary Monk deserved a better chance at Leeds.
Yeah.
Like that is what we want. And it's like
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, maybe there should be government funding for that.
Yes. Maybe every man should be allowed to go on TalkSport once a week.
And women as well, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
missus says this. My missus was like, I remember her saying that, like, she had a thing with her mates where, like, they met up and they all just ended up having this really, like, deep conversation,
Right.
and they all were like, I'm actually struggling with this. I'm actually struggling with this. Oh my God, I'm so sorry you're struggling with that. No, it's fine. But thanks for sharing me, because I'm actually also struggling with this. And she was like, yeah, it was good. I was fucking tired.
Do you know what you're not tired? When you're talking about whether Jonas Bergvall should be playing or not.
Exactly. I said to her, look, have you tried discussing Gary Monk's career options or whether Graham Potter really was given a fair chance at Chelsea?
Which he wasn't, by the way, incidentally. He was a very pragmatic, tactical person. But I think the slight furtherance that I would have to that, and the great thing about the sports bar is, because it's on at 10 o'clock at night, and there's like lesser kind of intensity of focus on it, it's not like the morning show with Ellie McCoist and Gabby or whoever is on.
No.
It gets weird.
Yeah,
it gets fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, the intro to this podcast. Well, not the Welcome to the Screen podcast. I mean, like the whole 10, 15 minutes there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the same thing.
It's the same vibe.
There's no structure.
No.
We don't know what we're about to talk about.
And you see where it ends up.
And the committee are just phoning in.
Yeah, the committee is sorting it out.
But it's yeah. And you leave us to our own devices, it gets weird.
Yes.
And we have a laugh.
And so we'll just watch this first clip. And we sadly can't watch all of it, but it's one of the funniest moments on radio ever. And Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy are in the sports bar, and they receive a call from what turns out to be a 15-year-old lad, and this happens.
Kevin. Kevin, you're Kevin?
Hello?
Hi, Kev, you all right?
Kev.
Yeah, I'm very good, and you?
Are you home alone at the moment?
No.
Okay, how old are you, Kev?
15.
15. Legally, you need permission from the bill payer, be it your mother or your father. Are they in at the moment, Kevin?
Can I do my older brother?
Well, that's...
I'd rather you didn't. I'd rather speak to your mum and dad.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, who's that?
Hi, this is Smalt Herring.
Is that not just Kevin putting on a deep voice?
Yeah. Are you Kevin's dad?
Hello?
Are you Kevin's dad?
Yeah.
What's your name, please?
Smalt Herring.
Schmeltz
Herring.
Hey, what's Kevin like as a young boy, as a son? What's he like?
He's a very good boy.
Are you both there? Are you both next to each other?
What? No, he's just outside the room.
Oh, can you get him so he's next to you? Schmeltz Herring, can you get him so he's next to you? Is he there now? Is he? Are you together?
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, hello?
Hi,
Schmeltz.
Schmeltz, you okay?
Yeah, I'll give permission.
Oh, okay. How do you know? How do you know I was going to say that?
Kev just told me.
Oh, okay. What do you do for a living, Schmeltz?
I'm a shopkeeper.
Okay. What's in your shop?
I'm in Tesco.
You're in Tesco?
You work in Tesco's?
Oh, so you're not a shopkeeper then? You work in Tesco, yeah?
By the tills.
Okay. You
Are
work
you
on
married?
the checkout.
Are you married, Schmeltz?
Yeah,
You are. What's your wife called?
Hannah.
Hannah Herring. Is that what? Hannah Herring. Hannah Herring. Amazing. Hannah Herring. Excellent. Can we speak to her? Can we speak to Hannah Herring, please?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we speak to her?
Hello?
Hannah?
Yeah.
How you got...
We'll leave it there.
This is some 15-year-old has done all it. Like, the best bit is, even when he's doing the fake dad's voice, he's like, I give permission. The kid really just wants to go, Oldham was shit tonight.
Yeah.
That's what he
It's
wants.
so good. And I guess what I love about it, and where I think that, like I say, these kind of clips that go around on social media is because they've got so much airtime to fill that it provokes something. And like we talked obviously about Mike Parry and Mike Graham, and they would do similar 3-4 hour stints kind of late night on the
graveyard
radio.
shift.
But the magic that emerges in that you wouldn't think it's that fertile soil, but it's a bit weird. They need to fill the time, and you get lunatics like this ringing you up.
It's very loose.
Yeah, and I love that about
There's
it.
no, I've got to cut you off here, Schmeltz.
Right.
We've got to go to the news.
Yeah, we got. Yeah,
we got time.
how long do you want? Is your mum there?
This is our podcast start.
Right,
We got time.
we got time. We're about.
Yeah. Like 18 months ago, I said to you, do you want to talk about Big John for an hour?
Yeah.
And you went, I've got time.
I got time. Little did I know where it would end up. But it's like, I think that contrary to social media, and I kind of remember when the other part about it is, this used to be kind of uncapturable. There would be something happen in the middle of the night on the radio. And like they used to play it on Clips of the Week on Hawksby and Jacobs on a Friday, but it would kind of get lost in the ether. But the social media of TalkSport and what the Sports Bar does really well is that that's out the next day. I remember when that came out, that did the rounds on every group chat I was a part of, being like, you have to watch this. And it's something so pure and lovely about it. It's just so funny.
Who's the guy who does a phone-in show? It might have been... Fucking hell. I don't know how to describe this guy. He's like a very plain guy, radio host, broadcaster, and he used to do a phone-in show. Ian Lee. I know.
Well, go on.
Well, let me check first.
So I did work experience at BBC Three Counties Radio for 6 weeks.
Wow.
When he was on The Breakfast Show, and I worked with him for 6 weeks.
How was he? He's had a big mental health
hasn't he? Has he gone mental H? Is he all right?
Yeah. I think he is now. I think he wasn't for a while.
Right. Oh, that's good. So let's just put it this way. BBC Three Counties wasn't the pinnacle of his career.
Yeah.
And that was
he on the way up
quite,
there or the way down?
No. And I think he might have come back after that. He ended up on LBC, but he was in a bit of an odd... But he was a really nice bloke. He was a lovely guy, given that I was like 19 or whatever and just helping them out with the radio show in the morning.
Yeah. But he used to do a late night call-in show.
Right.
I mean, we've teased it. This is going to happen. We are going to start doing this ourselves.
This is the ultimate ambition, isn't it, really?
Oh, no. This is going to be one of the Patreon specials. We've got loads planned for Patreon specials. We're going to keep doing more live shows, keep getting them really expensively filmed. 8 cameras. Imagine that, all in a bag. And that'll be for Patreons.
All in a bag.
All the cameras scratching at the inside of the bag to get out.
I'll take them cameras out of the back and put them in a bucket for you if you want, Ed.
But so yeah, in terms of like Patreon content, we're gonna do that. I love the idea of us going to like a Joseph Valente business course, mic'd up and doing all that. But we are also gonna start doing semi-regular phone-in shows like this because I
the sports pub.
It's the magic of or the Rot Bar.
Yes, the Rot Bar, lovely.
The Rot Bar, that's what we'll call it.
That third element of the listener
being able to phone in,
being live. That's another thing where it's like, obviously podcasts have kind of taken a bit of radio's market share, but you can never really replace that liveness.
Well, and the unpredictability.
And the unpredictability of it.
Ian Lee used to do a late night one.
And he used to have, didn't he have like a cast of regulars that would ring in, basically?
Do you know who used to ring in?
Who?
Bob Mortimer.
Really?
And would like be doing characters.
Wow.
And wouldn't tell him.
That's
he wouldn't
amazing.
phone up and go, "It's Bob Mortimer, can I do something funny?"
Yeah, yeah.
He'd just phone up and go, "All right, Ian."
That's
and
incredible.
like there's videos where Ian Lee's going, "We're 99% sure this is Bob Mortimer."
Right.
And he's just chatting shit. He's pissed, sat at home with the radio on, and he's
Just
going, "I'm
ringing
just
up
going
to
to fucking phone in." He goes, "I think my nephew's the fastest boy in the world." He'd just do that. But similar to that, they we talked about improv earlier. Yes and.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Yes and.
yeah.
Keep going. Schmaltz herring. Yes and.
What was interesting about Ian Lee is that when I remember doing that work experience, it was like, he felt quite confined by the format, if I remember.
Oh, really?
Like the morning meetings would often involve him coming up with ideas, and they'd be like, no, just play the Drifters and then we'll talk to someone whose dog ran away, I think. Like it was like he would have these kind of like he would have these like kind of Radio 2 ideas at the BBC Three Counties. I mean, lovely guy, and I'm glad that he's
It's just mad that he never. I mean, I'm sure he has. He must have a podcast.
Must have made it. Must have transferred it over. Yeah.
But I think like what ends up happening with a lot of these shows, and it's like these long-standing radio shows. And I like radio. I really like radio.
Love it.
Right. You're there for the hosts and the chemistry,
Yes.
and I think what you, and I think maybe it's a bit of screen rot is people come for the social media chat, stay for us chatting bollocks,
Yes.
winding each other up.
I hope so, because that's literally what we do. So.
Well, yes.
If they come for anything else, they're fucking shit out of luck.
Well, that's that. Yeah, I don't. This is the thing. Is like to speak earnestly. Like, I don't doubt that there must have been a lot of people who've tuned into this at some point and gone,
What the fuck?
I was hoping to talk about.
I mean,
Simon
someone
Sweet.
commented on the YouTube video saying that for quite a long time. What the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
but it's fine because ultimately I like Cundy and Goldstein who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or even Cundy and O'Hara. They'll do stuff. I mean, do you want to do the quack 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 one?
Yeah. I mean, well, actually, can we just to kind of finish on the friendship piece? I think.
You come for football, you stay for
you stay for the friendship.
And this is their last show they did together, and this is them talking about
Yeah, and this is
their relationship.
Yeah, and Jason Cundy does this amazing emotional speech. We're not going to play all of it, but he kind of talks about how he was having a really rough time in his divorce, and Goldstein picked him up. And so this is the end of that amazing speech.
Laughed with. In fact, I've not laughed with anyone the way I've laughed with you. I have. I come to work. This is my job, right? This is my job. My job is coming to work with one of my best mates, watching football.
Importantly,
laughing, coming on air, taking calls, and laughing even more, and getting paid for it. And it's one of the best jobs in the world. And I would not want to have done it with anyone in the world, anyone, other than you. You have absolutely been the light that helped me just, and somehow we just together with it, we just formed like a little thing that just worked together, and we wiggled and we come up. Some of the things we've done and got away with. How did we get away with what we got away with? I have to say, I love you.
amazing.
I genuinely love you for what you've done and what we've done and what we've achieved and how we've done it for 14 years. We've done this. I've come to work. Think about this, right? This is what I've done for 14 years.
This is the best.
I've come to work with my best mates. I've sat in a room and I've laughed for 14 years. That's mental. And I love you.
I love that
That's
so
all men
much.
want.
That's it.
We want to go to work, sit in a room.
Watch the football.
Crucially, sit in a room.
Sit in a room. I love that phrase. Sit in a room is so funny.
There's a bit earlier where he's like, here's my job. I go to work, I sit in a room, and I laugh for 14 years. It's he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. Doing this right now.
Yeah. We're sat in a room.
Yeah.
We're laughing. It feels like I've been here for 14 years. What I love about that is, so like we're saying, I think we're trying to categorise why the sports bar is so perfect. The madness of the late night, the third element of the listener, the personal chemistry of the two hosts. And I'm so glad in a way, not that Andy Goldstein left, but they got to have that moment. That is a truly incredible thing to say to your mate live on radio, I think. To be like, as a fucking 50-year-old man.
Radio. It's an insane thing to say
on his
to
wedding day.
another man. I don't know if I've ever said anything like that to another man.
And I genuinely think, like, if we're talking about all this kind of Prince William on Peter Crouch talking to the fellas, like, that did more for, like, express your feelings to your mates than any paid campaign could ever do in a million years, that video going viral.
Oh, I've cried to TalkSport a lot.
Yeah.
What was his name who died? Who's a bald Chelsea in England?
Ray Wilkins. Yeah.
Raymondo.
Yeah. A lovely man. His brother was the assistant manager of Stevenage, but there you go.
He was a wonderful man. And there was a bit of TalkSport that went viral. It was a homeless guy who called in and was like...
yeah, I remember this. Literally, my dad told me about this.
Yeah. A homeless guy called in and said Ray Wilkins was not just he was like, yeah, I'm homeless. I was in the army for a long time. I was sat on the street and I was just asking people for change. And Ray Wilkins walked past and he said, can I buy you a coffee? And he took him into a coffee shop and just sat and talked to him for an hour. And then, this homeless guy goes, after that, he gave me 30 quid and said, go and get yourself somewhere for the night. But after that chat, I had a wash, I got myself a job, and I got myself off the street. I'm now married, I've been clean for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. And I remember at the end he was like, Ray Wilkins was not just a football man, he was a real man. And I was sat there crying. Yeah. And like your dad, I've watched some of the best films ever made, and I haven't cried. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've read books.
Yeah.
I've listened to beautiful music by Nick Cave.
Right.
Like the most touching art in the world.
Yeah.
Hasn't hit me as hard as Jason Cundy turning to Goldstein and go, listen here, matey. What we've done for 14 years, we've had a laugh.
Right.
And we've had a laugh.
It's so good.
There was, TalkSport Universe. Porky Parry.
Yeah.
I remember I used to do his podcast with him every now and then. And I just got in contact because I was a fan. And to be honest with you, because I was touring with Kearns at the time.
Yeah,
I was opening for John Kearns.
And it was like a point of shared reference.
It was shared reference. And Kearns just like, I was like, I reckon I could do it. And he was like, why don't you just fucking message him? And so Kearns sort of encouraged me. And I just remember like, Porky sent me this email once and he was like, what we'll do, we'll meet up next week and we'll have a shout and a laugh because actually that is the purpose of our lives. And I just remember that and I was like, have a shout and have a laugh because actually that's the purpose of our lives. And something about that really touched me. I was like, yeah. It is. That is the point of life. Have a shout and have a laugh.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Do you think you're only able to access your emotions when a TalkSport presenter says something to you?
That's what I think. I think I've listened to so...
You don't need therapy. You need to talk to Gabby O'Bolin.
I've listened to so much kind of like football commentary, punditry and analysis over the years that the only way that I can sufficiently analyse and kind of consider my own emotional state is through the language of football.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's hearing that voice like talk about emotions. Like when I had the therapist, the one who tried to hug me, she'd be sat there and she'd be talking about my feelings.
She's using unfamiliar language,
and it's an unfamiliar voice.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? It's not her voice specifically, but like it's just a mode of speaking.
Yeah.
That's unfulfamiliar to me.
Are you holding space for that?
Yeah, I'm fucking glazing over. I'm just like, well, I'm just same as my mum. I'm just telling her anything to make her shut up. Take your 50 quid, fucking leave me alone, nosy. But you know, the dream I think for men is, you know, say you have like a massive Barney with your missus.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the dream would be that, like, you know, you're sort of frozen, and you know, imagine if someone could get you with a tranquilizer dart, and you just sort of and then in that kind of dream, in that stupor. And then you see the Sky Studio, and it's Carragher with the VR headset on. He goes, "So what's happened here?" Jacob said to his missus, he says, "I need to go to the gym. It's just an hour. I'm going to go in the morning." He forgot to tell her that he'd taken the car. She needs the car to get to school. If he'd have communicated that to her and said he's going to take the car to the gym, this whole thing's avoided. But he didn't say it. It's not his fault. It's not her fault. She's annoyed. Yeah. Miscommunication. And like, do you know what I mean?
And if I just stop it...
Yeah. Exactly. That's what we need. We can't and I get so frustrated with this overly earnest mental health chat. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
You're never going to speak to men.
Right.
In the way that he can.
No.
And or like people will be like listening to that, and there'll be guys who, I don't know, work in an office together, and they'll be thinking about their mate who they work with in the office, and they'll be going, "Oh, I've sat next to him for 14 years."
Yeah, we sat in a room and we've laughed.
We've laughed for 14 years, and it's touching.
It's touching stuff.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Cundy as well is that he's got both modes, because he can do that and he can be very vulnerable. And we've talked about how the listener was funny, then we've talked about the men's mental health, but him and O'Hara. Now, I have a kind of personal story around this as well. So the sports bar starts at 10 o'clock. And I used to play football when I was living in Letchworth for about 15 months. Play from 9 till 10 on a Wednesday. And then I would get in the car to drive home, and it would be as the sports bar was starting.
Yeah.
And every week they would start on a Wednesday after a game. If something had happened that he could do this for, he would start the show like we're about to watch. And I'll just play it for people, and then I'll so this is... at the start of a show when Tottenham, which is Jamie O'Hara's team, they've been playing in the cup that day, and they've just lost to Chelsea.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to the Sports Bar on TalkSPORT. The boys are back together, me, Jamie O'Hara, and Jason Cundy's alongside me.
Oh, you Spurs! Has anyone seen Spurs? Has anyone seen Jamie O'Hara? 3-point lane. Tottenham's trophy. The Harry Kane mural. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. Seven Sister Station. Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. AJ Tracy. Can you me? You're meant to win a beating. John Cena.
Whooping.
The Sainsbury's by the stadium.
Whooping.
Beavertown corner.
Whooping.
To dare is to do.
Whooping.
To dare is to do, honestly, you lot. Has anyone seen the Bricklayers Old Pub? Northumberland Park Station. Darren Ambrose. Chick King.
Whooping.
Chick King.
Whooping.
Chick King. Chick King. Can you me Chick King? You're Mr. Winner. Never beating. Lord Sugar. Tottenham Hotspur. It's happened again. It's happened again. Tottenham Hotspur. You always get battered again.
Whooping.
Oh my God.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah,
there's something wrong with you. As I would get out of the car
wrong
park,
with all of us.
I'd be coming out of the car park. I'd have played football. It was a good hour, like we said. You don't think about anything else. And It was fucking bleak living in Letchworth. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah, you weren't happy.
I was having a terrible time. And that would make me laugh or like chuckle to myself without fail every single time on the way home.
Yeah.
And when you watch that now, that's like Samuel Beckett, what he just did there. The repetition and the like insanity of it, that is genuinely like, it's like art. It's like jazz. It's like nothing I've ever heard. It's so funny, and it can only be allowed.
AJ Tracy.
AJ Tracy's so good.
Can you hear me, AJ Tracy? Your boys took one hell of a beating.
Whack, whack, whack. And look, I guess in a way, this show, today's episode, has been almost a story about ourselves in a way.
Oh.
We've laughed to this. We've laughed to the sports bar. We went on a very memorable journey where they were playing a game of Would You Rather with football fans for about 2 hours, and people would just ring up and Cundy would go, would you rather get into the Champions League, but you don't get to watch any of the games?
God, yeah.
And like, look, I hope in a way that this show is the sports bar to other people out there.
Do you know what? To be serious for a moment, that was one really like lovely thing about the Roties is like meeting people. And you mentioned how you met someone the other day, but you weren't really in the mental health space to have a proper
it was all
conversation.
fine, but I wasn't my eloquent best.
I've had that once or twice
Right.
where, and you never want to seem like rude or just if you've got shit going on, it's hard. But like seeing people at the shows where you can actually have a chat, and like there are a good few people who've said to me that this me and you screen rot has helped them through.
Right.
I don't want to help them through
No.
times. Get out your fucking ass, Jacob. But has made people laugh when they've been a bit down.
Yeah,
and I've had that. It's something that does make me very proud. Actually, it makes me very proud to think that you and I sitting here chatting this shit might cheer someone up.
Yeah.
You know, people that work. People tell me they work difficult jobs or work in the NHS and it's rough, and and this has got them through it, and it. I don't know. I think it's hard. You get older, and it's so funny how like for you it's listening to this.
Yeah.
That's the bit of joy.
Yeah,
in Letchworth, you'd finish playing football.
You take it where you find it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, take it where you find it. That's a great way of putting it. You know, it can be 10 minutes in a group chat, just chatting some bollocks.
Yeah.
Me and my mates from back home, if one of our teams lose, the other one, everyone would message that it was just duck emojis.
Yeah.
It's that. It's bollocks. Like ultimately, I mean, not to try and go too profound. I think we live for bollocks. I live for bollocks. I'm a bollocks guy.
You're a bollocks guy.
I'm
Plasma
a bollocks
guy and a bollocks guy.
I'm a bollocks guy. I think about my life and the career that I've managed to forge for myself between this and other podcasts and stand-up. It's just bollocks.
You're a bollocks merchant.
It's morning till night bollocks.
Right.
I wake up, I talk bollocks until the end of the day,
Yeah.
and then I talk bollocks with my kids.
Yeah.
I talk bollocks with my missus. It's just bollocks, and I fucking live for this shit. Like I live for it.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, I think about the people I idolise in comedy. I think when I was growing up, when I was younger, when I was like a teenager in the early 20s, I think I got it wrong. I found these people who were quite serious and earnest and who were trying to make a point and change the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People who are quite political
Yeah.
and who have a cause with their
Right.
comedy. I look back now and I'm like, what greater cause is there than making those
Bollocks.
noises?
What a way to sum up the mantra of this show. And can I just say, we've sat here in a room for 40 minutes with my best mate, and I've laughed, man. And there's no greater joy than that. We hope that the next time a sports bar clip pops up in your group chat that someone shared off Twitter, you get the same little jolt of excitement that we do. It's nice to talk about a nice one for a change, isn't it? Not slagging someone off, but lauding someone.
As I said at the start, they do pay me.
Yeah. Editorial fairness at all times from the Screen Rock Boys. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. See you next week.